Yo, 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 it's your boy Bernard, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week. So I'm not going to do a live action review to it since I already watched it. We did get a new Thunderbolts trailer, and it more or less explained why there's an asterisk, because that's not the official name of the team. But my prediction is by the end of the movie, they're all going to embrace the team. The name, and we also got our first kind of sort of look at Lewis Pullman as the Void, which I didn't like the look of it. It just looked like a silhouette of the Sentry, and that's not what the Void looks like, but it is what it is. All right, first story. I got some DC movie updates, so just gonna be talking about the Batman. So Robert Pattinson was doing an interview with Variety because he was doing promotion for his Moon movie ripoff called Mickey 17, which I believe is based off of a book. So I don't know which came first, chicken or egg situation. Anyway, that's not the point. So he confirmed that the Batman Part 2 won't begin filming until the end of this year.
What the fuck?
And that, quite frankly, is very annoying because the Batman came out, 2021? 2022? 2022 is ridiculous. So 5 years in between movies. And how old is Robert Pattinson again? I feel like he's a year younger than me. Survey says, I don't know. We're both 38 for now. So yeah, it's ridiculous. All right. So Clayface. I told you guys, Mike Flanagan, who is known for basically doing all the horror stuff over at Netflix, Follow the House of Usher. I think he also has something to do with the Fear Street movies. But I believe he is executive producing and writing this. So Jeff Waldo is in consideration to direct it. And I like Jeff Waldo. He did both the Truth or Dare movies. He did something else I liked. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But everybody knows him from Truth or Dare. Going to his filmography real quick. Oh yeah, he did do Kick-Ass 2, I want to say. Okay, he did Imaginary, which I still have to watch. Yeah, Kick-Ass 2, that's what it was. Oh, and Never Back Down. Damn, that was a good movie. Oh, he also did Cry Wolf. So, yeah, Jeff Waldo is in the running to direct. Also produced Bates Motel. Oh, also produced The Strain. Check that out if you want vampires, but not in the traditional sense of vampires, but kind of, sort of. So, Francis Lawrence is still hoping that the sequel for Constantine will happen. He was doing an interview with Collider. He said, I will say that we are closer than ever to being able to do a sequel, which is a great thing. And Akiva, Keanu, and I are super happy about it. Well, super excited about it. I'm like, when the hell did the first Constantine movie come out? I want to say like 2002. Let's see when the Constantine movie came out. 2005. Yeah, nah. We this is a movie that's at this point is 20 years too late. We really don't need it. Like, I don't even remember who all was in the movie besides Keanu Reeves, Shia LaBeouf, and Tilda Swinton, because she played Gabriel. Oh, Jaimon Hansu was in this. Gavin Ronsdale, Rachel Weisz, and Peter Stormare. Yeah, we're good. What is my next story? Yeah, that's not even true. That's scooper shit. So I'm gonna skip that. I just came across something that was related to Camp Crystal Lake. But like I said, fuck scoopers. Alright, so we got some updates on Masters of the Universe. So we got casting via deadline that Miranda Baccarin and Johannes Hakur Johansson have joined the cast. So Morana Baccarin will be playing the sorceress, whose name has always been freaking vague. But she's basically one of Prince Adam's allies. And let me go to Johannes will be playing Fisto. I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to Masters of the Universe, I don't really I can't keep up with the name of the characters. Like Fisto. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who the hell was the sorceress. And because I'm looking at the cast of Masters of the Universe Revelation and Revolution, I do not know. And Fisto was in this. Yeah, I don't remember what he looks like. Just letting you guys know right now, this is going to be a short episode because once again, it's been a fucking slow news week. I was looking for stories for the past 2 damn days. And this is one that I'm just like, why is this a thing? So Marvel is in the middle of their promo season for, I guess, upcoming comics. And a promo they put out for a comic that's supposed to be coming out this May is Gwen Stacy's tombstone with a shovel and a silhouette over it. So keep in mind, Gwen Stacy has been dead in the traditional sense since what, I want to say the 70s. When the hell did The Night Gwen Stacy Died come out? So Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, Issue 121, and 1973.
Oh, damn!
But she has come back from the dead multiple times due to the fact that she was cloned by Miles Warren, aka the Jackal. And Ben Reilly cloned her in 2016's Dead No More: The Clone Conspiracy. It's a very good comic. You should check it out. Do I even still have it on the shelf? No, I do not. But I don't know what's going on with the Amazing Spider-Man comic, because Zeb Wells was basically booted off the book halfway through his run, and now we got the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man arc going on. But please leave Gwen dead, because Gwen from the not the Ultimate Universe, from Spider-Gwen is in 616 at the moment, and they still haven't given us an explanation as to why she's in the movie per se. But hey, all I can do is either read the comic or not. Oh, I want to get this one out the way. I usually start the episodes with these, but I forgot to. Gotta give a rest in peace to Peter. What was his last name? Peter Tuiasosopo. If you look him up, you will recognize him. He's just one of those guys who's always been like that guy in movies. If you grew up in the 90s like I did, and you watched a little movie based off of a video game called Street Fighter, you may recognize him. He played E Honda. He passed away at the age of 61. His son made a post on Facebook saying, "With a heavy heart, my family, I want to thank everyone for their thoughts and prayers. Our father, Peter N. Tuiasosopo, passed away this morning at 3:16 a.m. But a cause of death was not revealed on the Facebook post. But his son told TMZ that his father passed away from heart complications. So a few things he was on. He was on the Disney series Kicking It. He appeared on NCIS multiple times. Ray Donovan, Mob City, Blackish, Mayans, Magnum PI. If you watch New Girl, he was Big Bob. He was in 12 Rounds with John Cena, Batman and Robin, Basketballs, Charlie's Angels, Austin Powers, and Goldmember, The Scorpion King, and a lot more films. But yeah, he was in. Like I saw that, I was like, wait, he was in Street Fighter. Who was he in Street Fighter? And he played E Honda. He was in the movie Necessary Roughness. The Young and the Restless. He was also in Speed Racer, and he was in the first Fast and Furious. He played the bodyguard. But yeah, rest in peace. So this is in regards to Colman Domingo. So we all know who Colman Domingo is at this point. Did a little movie called Sing Sing. Voices Norman Osborn on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. He was in 2022? 2021's Candyman. He's been on Euphoria. And he was doing an interview, and he just basically, was talking about the rumors that all the scoopers were, saying that, hey, he was going to replace Jonathan Majors as King the Conqueror, who may be coming back, according to rumors. And then it's not just scoopers. So, like, Deadline even reported on this. So, like I said, I take Deadline, a lot more. I trust Deadline a lot more than I trust the Steiner and Daniel R.I.P. and all that shit. But yeah, so he was doing an interview with the Happy Sad Confused podcast, and he said, I think there have been conversations for me coming to Marvel in some way. So me and my PR team did a follow-up with a sit-down meeting with the heads of Marvel. So we do that, and we talk openly about the landscape of Marvel or even Kang rumors, he said. But I felt like I want a role to be mine. Whatever the role is, whatever I developed, something didn't feel right with me. And it was like, oh, I would replace someone. And they would actually, would you replace someone? He said, no, I want to build someone from the ground up. That's my own. And he said, I never felt like that was never a conversation from my point of view if I discussed taking over Kang. I still didn't know if it was discussed, but I just know that I want to build something from the ground up. So there's still talks. So, shout out to him. He didn't want to replace Jonathan Majors as Kang, and like I said, there were no direct talks of saying, hey, you want to be Kang? It was just like, hey, you want to be in a Marvel movie? And so they're still trying to figure out what to do with him outside of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So you definitely got to applaud his integrity of saying, you know what, no, I want to be someone who hasn't been seen yet. So I think he should be Adam Bashir, aka the Blue Marvel. He's a character who was retconned into Marvel history, who got his powers like in the 50s and is basically immortal. Like he's been like in league with like every single president from the 60s up until I want to say like maybe the 2000s. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was Kennedy. You would have to read his miniseries to get the exact president who was telling them, hey, I know you're black, but just for the public perception of everything and to, keep you safe, you might want to keep your mask on. Or he told him to take it off or something like that. I don't remember. It's been so long since that book came out. But check out Adam, the Blue Marvel. Is written by Kevin Greville, who basically created the Underworld franchise. So, yeah. I'm going to take a break a little bit earlier than usual. You know what it is. Dubby ad. Be right back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix one packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to Debbie.gg and use my promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's Dubby.gg with promo code Angry Blerd 10. All right, I'm back. I went and made myself a smoothie mixed with some Dubby. Y'all heard the ad. Dubby.gg, promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Earlier this week, we had a PlayStation State of Play. PlayStation. And I'm going to go over everything that is announced. So Saros is the next game. House Marquee, I believe that's the name of the studio. That's their next game after Eternal. and it's set to arrive sometime next year. It looks a lot like Returnal, but players will be taking on the role of Arjun Devraj, who is a powerful Sotari enforcer searching for answers on a lost off-world colony. So it looks like this is kind of borrowing from the Nemesis system that was introduced in Shadow of Mordor. It says there will be permanent progression systems, and every death reshapes the world while offering new upgrades to overcome challenges. I saw that, I was like, yeah, okay. One I'm not interested in, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So we already knew this game was coming out, but this trailer gave us the release date of August 28th. And there will also be an Ape Escape collaboration and potentially more crossovers that have not been revealed yet. I loved Metal Gear Solid growing up, especially the first one, because, you know, you had the whole situation with Psycho Mantis, and the only way you can beat him was if you switched the ports for the controller, which I'll need to talk to somebody about that, because I need to know how that works now, since everything is wireless. And if you're playing on the Switch, there is no controller too. Anyway, Borderlands 4 also got a release date, September 23rd of this year. So they also announced that Gearbox will have a Borderlands 4 themed state of play that will be coming later this spring. You know how I feel about first-person games. Not a fan of them. If you like Borderlands, cool. I honestly thought the movie killed the franchise. Well, I thought it would have killed the franchise, but, you know, yeah. Onimusha, Way of the Sword. This won't be released until next year, but Capcom just showed the trailer that shows off the new protagonist, who is Miyamoto Masushi. Tides of Annihilation is another one. It is a single-player, narrative-driven action-adventure game that combines intense breakneck combat, immersive narrative, and an unforgettable setting. So it takes place in modern London that has been taken over by otherworldly forces. Players will take on the role of Gwendolyn and will be able to call in the Knights of the Round Table to help her in combat. Okay, so a game that I have that... This is why I try not to play games that are too open world. I just get sidetracked. That's the reason why I haven't beat Ghost of Tsushima. And that's the reason why I haven't beat this. Days Gone is getting a remastered version that will be coming out in April on the 25th. So it will have variable refresh rate, PS5 Pro support, permadeath, and speedrun modes, as well as enhanced photo mode and other accessibility features, and even a horde assault mode that will have Deacon taking on more freakers than usual. And if you're like me and you have Days Gone already, you can upgrade to the new version for just $10. I miss the days when the PS5 first came out and all the next gen upgrades were free. There's a game coming out called Mind's Eye, which is done by a former lead GTA developer. The character of Mind's Eye's name is Jacob Diaz, who is a former soldier who is haunted by a covert mission going wrong. And to make matters worse, he has a mysterious neural implant called a Mind's Eye that plagues him with fragmented memories and is desperate to uncover the truth about his past. Mind's Eye takes place in Red Rock, where AI, robotics, and neural implants have changed society for both the good and the bad. So players will experience the action on foot, in cars, or even in the sky as they uncover more about Jacob's story. Dynasty Warriors is getting a roguelike spinoff called Warriors Abyss that actually came out the day of the state of play, and has randomly generated stages and items and choices that will make you stronger and much more. Sonic is getting a new racing game, so we're getting Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. No idea on when this will be released yet, but it will be on all systems: PS4, PS5, Xbox Series SX, Xbox One, the Switch, and PC. Stellar Blade is getting a Nike, I don't know, DLC crossover and the PC port. That will be released June of this year. Lies of P, a game that Samira would not shut up about, is getting a prequel, which is called Lies of P Overture, and it will let players uncover hidden stories of crap and see how you woke up in the middle of the Great Puppet Frenzy. So this is one I'm very hesitant on because I don't like buying sports games every fucking year. But due to the fact that they have stuff in here that I want, I might just bite the bullet and get it. WWE 2K25. So they pulled back the curtain on the social media play hub. If you've been watching the trailers, basically that hub is the island. So it lets players take their custom wrestlers into the world to explore and take on challenges, develop storylines, and much more. So, fuck, I might just bite the bullet and get it. It comes out next month. Shinobi Art of Vengeance will be out August 29th, and this will be on the PS4 and the PS5. So this is just basically a classic Shinobi side scroller. It looks good. I might get it. I'm not sure just yet. My issue is I'm not a fan of like games like this that, you know, it seems like it's very cheap to make because it's a side scroller. And it's animated. So it's probably like a game that's like maybe like a gig in space, but it's probably still going to be like $70. Hopefully it's not. But yeah, so this is being developed by Sega and the developers of Streets of Rage 4, Lizard Cube. Metal Eden is described as an adrenaline rush sci-fi first-person shooter. Then players will find out what that means when it comes out on May 6th. And they said one of the most unique mechanics of Metal Eden is known as core ripping, that allows players to use a multi-tool and uses gravity beam to rip cores from enemies in your way. Lost Soul Aside. I think we got the announcement of this game like last year, but the release date is going to be May 30th on the PS5 and PC. Lost Soul Aside started as a one-person dream from Yang Bling and is now evolved into a sprawling adventure full of breathtaking visuals and adrenaline-pumping combat. Monster Hunter Wild is getting a free update this spring that will add Mitsune and so much more, including event quests and other surprises. Split Faction. The announcement for the release will be March 6th. Directive 8020 is by Submersive Games, that will be coming out October 2nd and will bring together sci-fi exploration with spine-chilling horror where every choice could lead to a disastrous death. So you're on board a ship called the Cassiopeia and you will see characters searching for a new home as Earth is dying. The ship is kind of like a survey ship, but things sadly go anything but smoothly as the crew wakes from a 4-year hypersleep to a hull breach, a murder, and some extremely suspicious crew activity. Okay. Dreams of Another will be out on the PS5 and the VR2 this year. That one just looked creepy. I'm not a fan of that one. Darwin's Paradox is basically a game where you play as an octopus who finds himself in a food factory. The Midnight Walk is a stop-motion first-person action game that's coming out May 8th. Yakuza Like a Dragon, Kasuga Ichiban is going to have some DLC with Dave the Diver. That's coming out later on this year. Hell Is Us got a new trailer, September 4th still for that one. Digimon Storytime Stranger is supposed to be coming out sometime this year. They didn't give a release date for it. And Five Nights at Freddy's is making a comeback after almost 2 years with a new game called Secret of the Mimic. No release date on that, but you know, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. People love it. Hey, go for it. So, like I said, the only thing that I'm tempted to do, tempted to get is the Days Gone upgrade and possibly Shinobi and WWE 2K25. Because everything else, you can check out the trailers on YouTube. I'm not posting them just because I keep getting flagged for shit like that. I'm actually probably gonna kill the Instagram and TikTok pages. But I don't know yet. Next story, Gen V. As we know, season 2 is coming up, possibly towards the middle or end of this year. We got a confirmation that someone besides Chance Perdomo will not be coming back. And that is Patrick Schwarzenegger. He played Luke Riordan, aka Golden Boy, who we saw die in the first episode of Gen V. But that's not why he's not coming back, because even though he did die, we did get a bunch of flashbacks with the character. And his brother, was seeing hallucinations of him. But the reason why he's not coming back is simple. Scheduling conflict. So, he's not coming back because he is filming season 3 of The White Lotus. And he was doing an interview with Screen Rant. He said, "No, I wish I was coming back, but I'm actually filming The White Lotus at the same time they were filming Gen V, so it didn't work out." But he did say he is open to returning for season 3. So, how will that work? I don't know. But if they can figure it out, sure, why not? All right. So, spoiler alert, let's cue it up. I'm doing a complete season 1 overall review of Dexter Original Sin, since I did not review it on a weekly basis. And I have nothing negative to say about this show. I was very hesitant at first about it, because it's like, how you going to do Dexter without Michael C. Hall? And then, they announced that it was a prequel series and not a complete reboot, and that Michael C. Hall was basically narrating the show. So if you don't know, it takes place in 1991. It's very dated due to the fact that, people have acid wash jeans, beepers, things of that nature, no cell phones. So Dexter just graduated college, and it's how he first gets into the world of forensics, and the first time that he enforces the code that Harry came up for him. Although, if you do remember, Evelyn Vogel actually helped Harry come up with the code, but she is not in season 1 of Original Sin, which I feel like was just dumb to introduce that character. But so Dexter gets his first kill, and if you watch the original Dexter, you will know that it was the nurse that was intentionally poisoning Harry after his heart attack. So they actually redo that flashback from the original show in a whole episode. And honestly, the show was amazing. I highly suggest you all check it out. It stars Patrick Gibson, Christian Slater, Molly Brown. That's Dexter, Harry, and Deb. Christina Milian's on the show. She plays a young Maria Laqueta. James Martinez plays Angel Batista. Alex Shimizu plays Vince Masuka. Rena Wilson plays Bobby Watt, who is Harry's partner. Patrick Dempsey is Captain Aaron Spencer. Sarah Michelle Gellar is Tanya Martin, who is basically the head of the CSI Forensics Department. But yeah, I can't really talk about this show without spoiling it. And I did say it's a series overall, but like I said, if you didn't watch the show, check it out. It's only 10 episodes. It's on Paramount Plus, or if you have cable, Showtime. And I don't know if the Showtime Anytime app is still its own thing. I think they all just folded all that into Paramount Plus. But yo, watch it. Like I said, I loved it. I basically liked to get 2 episodes to watch back to back, but I was so far ahead that I could only watch episode 10 this morning. But very good episode. My only issue was, it seemed like there was a plot line that involved Deborah's boyfriend and possibly drugs that I feel like kind of got pushed to the wayside, which might come into fruition in season 2. But yeah, I mean, we saw Dexter get his first Luck 3000, and his first quote unquote girlfriend. But yeah, check out Dexter Original Sin. Like I said, I don't have anything negative to say about it. Only thing I wish was there was 2 more episodes, so we could have got the traditional 12 episodes like we got with the original Dexter series. All right. So let's go ahead and get into episodes, what, 6 through 8? Yes, 6 through 8 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Airing on Disney Plus. Season finale is next week. So episode 6 is Duel with the Devil, directed by Liza Singer, written by Charlie Newmer. So, due to the ramifications of Lonnie joining the 110th and missing football practice, he has kicked off the football team. And then he also continues to skip school and still not telling Pearl about what's going on. Peter invites Harry and Nico, after the fiasco of going to the movies in the last episode, over to his house so, his friend group can become closer. So he's basically like, Nico's my friend, Harry's my friend, I'm the common denominator. So boom, let's all be friends. But you know how it is. Nico don't like rich people. Harry's kind of awkward. Meanwhile, at a charity event, Norman meets up with Thaddeus Ross. And they're talking about the Sokovia Accords. And Norman is basically setting Peter up to be an asset to the army, although he is hiding his identity with a security guard. But he gets an alert about a break-in. So he calls Peter, and Peter goes to Oscorp, ends up fighting Daredevil, who believes Norman is hiding something sinister. Matt knocks out Peter, and when Peter wakes up, Norman is there. They also find out that Otto Octavius is behind all the tech for all the supervillains, and he convinces Peter that Otto hired Daredevil to steal info from him. Harry lets it slip to Nico that Peter is Spider-Man. Nico doesn't believe him. Peter comes back, opens the bag, sees his mask, storms out. Meanwhile, Lonnie was being followed by Gargan's second in command, and she eventually found the hideout for the 110th game. And she tells Mac, who is getting his scorpion armor. So this episode was good. Charlie Cox's voice acting was a little flat. I get it, he's not used to voice acting, but if you're gonna reprise a role, practice a little bit more. I'm not really complaining. I'm just saying. Like I said, Harry's a fucking idiot. You just don't blurt out, "Hey, Peter Spider-Man." What else? Oh, I guess this version of Peter does not have a spider sense. And I get it, is unless they're going, like I said, this show was originally supposed to be an MCU show, and Peter ignored his spider sense for the most part. Like, you can go back to Captain America Civil War when he low-key referenced his spider sense twice in the fight. So, like, the first time it happens is when Ant-Man obviously kicks him in the face and takes the shield. And the second time is when I think Bucky threw something at him. He's like, "Oh God," and he ducked. So, the Peter tingle might be there. That episode was very good. So let's go ahead and get into the next one. Episode 7, Scorpion Rising. Directed by Stu Levinson, written by Raven Coney. Nico starts to ignore Peter because she's like, "Yo, we supposed to be friends, yo. You saved my life," and blah, 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 blah. Peter and Norman figure out that Otto is using gamma radiation to power his tech, and so they build a tracker to trace the tech through the city. Meanwhile, Harry is apologizing to Nico because he thought she knew, and takes her out for food, but they still don't come to an agreement on her being able to forgive Peter. She forgives him for blurting it out, but only after they find some common ground, because Nico doesn't know how to drive and Harry lets her drive his Porsche. I'm like, no. But anyway, they actually end up drag racing, and they get close to the point where Peter might end up being a third wheel eventually. They become friends. Lonnie's brother decides to be a snitch and texts Pearl that Lonnie has joined the 110th gang. So Pearl goes to the hideout, confronts Lonnie about it, and then Scorpion shows up. Spider-Man actually rescues, Lonnie, Pearl, and the rest of the gang members. They all flee. Peter gets his ass whooped by Scorpion, almost about to die, and Norman sends a glider to rescue Peter. So, like I said, I don't think this version of Peter has a spider sense. If so, he's ignoring it. Like I said, I've seen this multiple times happen. We saw it in the MCU. The first time I ever recall Peter realizing he had a spider sense, and after he ignored it, was in Ultimate Spider-Man when he fought the Kingpin. But I will tell you one thing. I was not expecting this episode to be violent like that. Bro, we saw Scorpion kill somebody. It's like, yo, I thought this was a kid-friendly show. But, hey, guess not. Like, we saw him... Well, we didn't see the tail go through the guy's body, but we saw him get impaled, and he's just, like, lifeless. And we also saw Peter get impaled. But, yes, man. All right, episode 8, Tangled Web, directed by Eliza Singer, written by Charlie Noonan. So Peter's shaken up after his fight. Norman gives him an ultimatum like, yo, step up or, this is the end of it. It's kind of like what happened in Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, I need that suit. I'm not a hero without it, and maybe you shouldn't. Peter breaks down and maybe tells her how stressful his life has been. And she relates to how, by telling him that's kind of how she felt after Uncle Ben died. Otto is eventually found by Ross and the government. So Norman tells them that. Otto almost gets away, but then Iron Man shows up. Peter goes to Pearl's because they have a science assignment to work on. And Lonnie shows up basically telling Pearl to stay away. Pearl breaks up with Lonnie since he refuses to leave the gang. The Chameleon shows up and actually tells the 110th Street gang that, the person who's more than likely behind the tech is Otto Octavius. Peter has a conversation with Norman, who believes that the reason Scorpion beat him was because he was holding back. And Norman, boy, they threw us with a curveball with this one. Norman says, hey, yo, man, with great power comes great respect. Get your shit together. And he leaves. Harry's telling Peter, hey, go after, Scorpion or whatever. He's like, I don't got a suit. But meanwhile, Harry had the Oscorp scientists develop a new suit for him, which is red and blue. So, yeah, we're there. Like I said, I like this episode because you got to see you're getting the balance of the Peter Parker stuff in the Spider-Man stuff, where like a majority of the cartoons, it was like maybe like 80% Peter. 80% Spider-Man, 20% Peter. So this is a nice 50-50 balance of, him trying to maintain that work-life school balance. So yeah, the next 2 episodes will be coming out on Wednesday. And those will be the final 2 episodes of the season. So I don't know how much stuff I'm gonna have to review, because it's getting to be slim pickings. All right, but now let's go ahead and get into Invincible season 3, episode 4. You Were My Hero, directed by Ian Abando and written by Tania Leota, or is it Lotia. So Mark goes to Rudy, aka Robot, to analyze the drone. He determines that it came from Earth, but it was created by somebody who's got a lot of money. Mark just automatically assumes it's Cecil, but apparently Rudy did not take the implant out of Mark's head, because as soon as Mark shows up, Cecil hits the dead man switch on a new trigger, and tells Mark, if we were spying on you, you wouldn't even know it. And so he's like, get the hell out, okay? And Donald's like, yo, we are spying on him. He's like, yeah, but we ain't this sloppy. Mark goes on a date with Eve, but then Fight Master and Dropkick show up and is like, yo, Invincible, we need your help. It's like, yo, secret identity much, people? Yeah, we're from the future. We need you to help stop our dictator. And the only reason why we stole the Declaration of Independence is because there was a legend that said the ink from the Declaration will kill him. And if you come with us, we will give you back the Declaration of Independence. He's like, nah, I'm good. They leave, but then they like psych and take him. So they go to the future, and you find out that the dictator is immortal, who blames Mark for basically leaving him in charge of Earth, and Immortal just eventually loses it because it's been maybe a couple hundred years. We don't know the actual timeline. So Mark and Immortal fight, and Mark kills him. They return him to the present. The Fight Master and Dropkick return Mark to the present and give him the Declaration of Independence. Mark basically has a little breakdown, and Eve is there to comfort him because she basically knows what it's like to be a hero. And then they make love, and we cut to Nolan and Alan the Alien teaming up to fight the Viltrumites, who are actually coming to kill Alan. And Alan schedules makes a prison break happen, and Battle Beast shows up as well. And Battle Beast is just going ham on the Viltrumites. Meanwhile, Nolan reveals that the Ventral Empire is basically fewer than 50 pure-blooded members, and that's basically the weakness that they have is like their numbers are very small. So, very good, almost an issue. Very good episode. Like I said, I feel like we're just rushing too much because I feel like this might have happened like a few issues after issue 50. So maybe like a whole arc. But it did do the cutaway in the comic of Eve and Mark getting it on to Alan and Nolan breaking out. And they had the narration and everything. But also, the way those two got together was different. Like Eve just literally, because Eve originally was dating Mark's friend, whose name I'm drawing a blank on at the moment. What was his name? What the hell was Mark's name? Friend's name? Well, his gay friend, whose name, like I said, I'm drawing a blank on. So she was originally dating him to make William to make Mark jealous, and she was like, okay, this ain't working. So she just busted and said, hey, we're dating now. And he's like, okay. But yeah, so like I said, they're making a few changes because it's just like some of the stuff that used to happen back in the day really doesn't work in modern society. Like, Mark flying William up, and he's just like, this is so gay. Yeah, I'm digging it. Like I said, at this point, we're going to be done by season 6 or 7. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for me. That was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg, use the promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout. Check out Yellow Jackets if you haven't watched it. It's too late for me to review it because season 3 has already started. So I don't want to go back and do a retroactive review because I just watched all of season 1 and 2 in the course of like a week and a half. But yeah, check that out. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.